Hey, you there. Thank you for watching, and welcome to Forge Lines Forever. Today, I have a 6v6 custom match here on the second most famous map in all Supreme Commanderdom. It is Dual Gap. Love it or hate it, it is here. So let's go ahead and introduce our teams and our players. Starting off with Team 1 in the West, and anyway, Team 2 in the East. Starting off with Team 1's Northern Air player, we have Edelbrock. He is a Seraphim for this match in Barbie Pink as a 2,000 rated player, the highest rated player on team number 1. To his south in the Northern Land is Sanekin 24. He is in Chevy Crimson UEF 1300. Ruby Red next door to him is Atmosphere. We'll see if he ends up having a thick or a thin one. He is a 1900. He is again in the Southern Land. Starting off with Team 1's naval player is Black Dent. Not in black, he is in forest green as a UEF best color in faction combination. He is a 1500. In emerald green 2 in the eco position is Fugasok. Sock for short. He is a Seraphim. I'm just thinking about if I said his name right. He is a 1300. And last but not least for Team 1, we have in Batman Gray is I-8845. That makes me think it's a U.S. area, not area code, but zip code. He is in Aeon as a 1600. So for Team 1 side of the map, they have 3 Seraphim, 2 UEF, 1 Aeon. Team 1 lacks the Cybran faction. Starting off with Team 2's Northern Air, it is Primal Rage. He is a Seraphim in Stitch Blue as a 2200, the highest rated player on Team 2 and in the game overall. It's probably Primal Rage is probably how you pronounce it. I don't even know what I just said. Primal Rage? It's Primal Rage. To his south in Rust is another Seraphim. Already making his way to the middle is Steez Click. He is a 1200. And next door to him, to his Southern Land position, is Boss 1100. He's not 1100. He is a 1600 in Glow in the Dark Green as the first Cybran to be introduced in the game. In Team 2's naval slot, we have in orange color. Orange is the second Cybran on Team 2 is Robo Danny. He is a 1600. In the eco slot in Amethyst Purple is Skull Razor. He is an Aeon for this match as a 1500. And rounding out the game here and on Team 2, it is Mamim Puldrogan. I'm going to call him Mamim for short. I think that's probably one of the longest names I've seen. He is a Seraphim for this match as a 1600. And again, he's in Southern Air. So for Team 2's side of the map, they have 3 Seraphim, 2 Cybrans, 1 Aeon. Team 2 lacks the UEF faction. And of course, we have the customary land players moving into the middle of the map. A couple of forces actually dropped off by Team... Oh, that's Team 1. For some reason, I thought these were Team 2. These are Team 1's roaming... what are these? These Selens running around here for Atmosphere, going after the first engineers here for Steez Click. He actually got a transport to get them out sooner, which means he can get his secondary mech's position online and get those facilities ramped up. So actually, that's a nice way to cut down the travel time so that he has forces there before his opponents do, because his opponents of Atmosphere just barely getting his first facility online, and in the north we have Sanekin doing the exact same thing. He's going to be, again, pretty much on par, if not slightly ahead. Gun started for Boss 11, first upgrade of the game. Again, he's in land. Definitely would make sense that he's going for that gun counter for Atmosphere. So it is a Seraphim v Cybran affair. A little bit of hit point advantage to Team 1's Atmosphere at the 1500 additional. But the upgrade will finish for Boss first. In the southwest, we did see T2 started and done now for Sock in the southwest. And no upgrades for anybody else on Team 2. And we do see Boss slowly moving into the middle, and his opponent of Sanekin actually moving to grab that last rock and grabbing some Team 1 mexes in the Northern Land. We don't see a lot of forces stacking up here for Stez, but he does have a nice radar system. Love to see that. We see radar systems online for Team 1. Gun is done, going for T2, which will give him 2,000 additional hit points and have that advantage in hit points actually be pretty staggering. He can actually survive an explosion of, let's say, Boss's Comm and still be fine if they were, at 2,500 hit points versus the, one-for-one shot, essentially. Boss, of course, going in for the kill. T1PD trying to be built and also denied. by Boss. Lots of Zui raining in shots. A lot of damage going to Boss's comm here. T2 almost done. Had Boss gotten here before the upgrade, at least for the gun upgrade, would be done. I think that actually might have been enough to force Atmosphere to leave. But you can see that Boss is losing hit points. He's dropping into the low yellows and almost into the red. We have some forces inbound from the south from his UEF teammate of Sanekin, and that's going to cause Boss to retreat. Gets a rank in veterancy to get him back in the yellow, but back down into the red. Forces now went too far back, and it might just be the kill here for Team 1. Early departure of the game, and he's trying to make it to land. It's not going to be a difference in enough difference in hit points to make a difference in terms of the kill on Boss. That's what I was talking about with that T2 engineering sweep, which he doesn't actually have done because he went for the kill. And he's dropped below 1,000 back up to it, and there is a nice little sub nearby, at least to give him a little bit of breathing room in the naval side of things. Team 2 loses not only Boss 11, but his entire base. It is very early on, though, so it isn't as much of a loss as it usually is at the 30, 45 hour minute mark. So most likely it'll go to Stezclick because he's right there, but it could also go to the naval player of Robo because he already has engineers moving in to scoop up those remains. And of course, because they're Cybern Rex, they actually can benefit from just building on top of the previously alive or active mexes. This, of course, will mean that Team 1 will be leading in the land shortly due to the fact that it's going to be a 2v1 affair. We do see that Atmosphere, again, he's going to be very much aware of where his comm is at all times for now, making sure he doesn't get sniped. This is a share until death game, which means that your stuff gets destroyed once you die, which means dying in this game, unlike most custom games, is very, very bad. Because if you built a bunch of stuff and then you die, well, there goes all that stuff. T2 Air, T3 Land also online for Team 1 in the northwest, and T3 Air almost done for his Mirror of Rage in the south. T2 going for T3 here for Skull, and T3 on its way here for Mamim. Mameen. I want to say Mamim, like a meme, but it is Mameen. Apologies if I pronounce his name incorrectly or not. But that has really opened up the game here, especially in the land. I do like this just one-off radar system. It actually allows Team 1 to be aware of what's going on that northern edge, because a lot of air players will send some spy plays, at least on this northern edge, to get at least closer to, let's say, Team 1 or Team 2 side of the map. So having that radar system in place definitely gives them a little bit more of an early warning system. Couple of some raiding. I don't know if those would be Nathas inbound from Rage. Don't know what they were going after. Looks like they killed off a couple of engineers, which is great for delaying UEF naval buildup here, but there's really not a lot of Navy for either player. There's starting to be a little bit more here for Robo, but there's nothing really in the middle to really worry about so far. So a couple of engineers being killed off, not really a big issue. We do see Sock is going for all of his ringing. Of course, getting the eco online sooner rather than later. Very important, obviously, especially for the eco players. Because usually early nukes, early game enders, all of the juicy things we love to see in this game need to be online sooner rather than later. We do see the land invasion is slowly moving in, or land pushing in, I should say, for Team 1. Sanekin has gun on board, no other upgrades. I wonder, yep, he is going to go for the T2 upgrade once again. He's back up into the yellow, so that'll give him another 2,000 additional hit points. And keep him alive a little bit longer. Team 2's Stez probably should go for gun here shortly. He has T2 radar, love to see that. He has T2 land, of course, but really should getting that upgrade just in case Sanekin wants to rush in. Essentially the counter move at what Boss 11 tried to do to to Atmosphere, which didn't work out. I love the attempt, of course, and he almost got him, but unfortunately it was just not enough damage. I think had his Mantis not continued westward and had just stayed around Atmosphere, it would have been enough maybe to at least body block him enough to either allow Boss to get away or actually to commit for the murder-suicide situation. Nano repair started for him as well, making sure he gets back up to full HP immediately. T2 land, T2 Navy, of course, online, pumping out counter intelligence boats. Very, very nice unit to have. They have sonar and radar stealth fields to hide those vessels from Team 1's prying eyes. They are unique to the Cyberans, so they're the only ones that can build them, so it is nice to have Cyberan tech in Navy, at least for some things. Not, again, every faction has its advantages and disadvantages for everything in the game, but like last video I was talking about the Seraphim laser weapons on board those destroyers. Again, I do think they are, in terms of just consistent, they do good job, they work, they're submersible, all those things. I think they are the best destroyer in the game. A couple of Ilshis running around the northern side of land for Stezclick, trying to get around the main facility and line up for Sankin. Sankin getting a lot of TMD. That's actually probably more than he would probably ever need, at least the next maybe 10-15 minutes. But those Ilshis are going to run by, and they're going to try to at least try to breach and go after most likely Edelbrock. And they're going to keep going. T1 PD has been built, and they're constantly being built, and they're going to actually deploy a decent amount of them. It might actually be enough to push the Ilshis back. All of the engineers are dead. Units are trying to catch up to them, but I don't think they'll make it. At least one or two might get away. Yeah, two do get away, but I wouldn't be surprised to see some T1 bomber spam here shortly. We see some AA defenses being deployed on this upper plateau section by Edelbrock, so I'd love to see that. And he also has just a couple of forces down here with another AA defense position right here. So he's just getting the preliminary defenses, the random spy planes, that sort of thing, to just slowly push back Team 2, or at least delay them at a minimum. We also see some Swift Winds. We hardly see them in the air department, but, you know, it's nice to have them be visual or on visual, whatever you want to call it, once in a while. Lots of Team 1 subs, decent amount of destroyers, and at least a cruiser in the mix to help assist with AA coverage. But this is not looking good for Team 1's Navy. They have a couple of Coopers deployed, which have a decent amount of torp defenses and torpedoes, but I don't think this is going to be enough, and it might be a lockout on Navy for Team 1. We have a couple of T2 vessels still here. Blacknet getting out of the water to make sure he doesn't get just annihilated by those torpedoes. He has to play hot foot with dancing all around, making sure he doesn't get shot at constantly by those destroyers, cruisers, and frigates. And those subs really wanted him. If you see a shield he can hide behind for a little bit, that might be enough. He's assisting it to try to keep it online. It might not last much longer, but at minimum, it might be enough. There are some torp launches being deployed by his nearby teammate of Atmosphere, so that could be enough to push back Team 2's fleet. The Team 2 naval headquarters, at a minimum, should be taken out by Team 2, and they will grab it here shortly, which will give them not full naval control, but just enough. And now they're going to target those torp launchers. Again, they're going after the destroyers, go after the more annoying units to kill first. There are some torp defenses on board that are slowly reducing the damage being dealt to them, but it looks like it might be enough. And there's just a bunch of spirit spam outbound from 8845. Again, they're not designed to do damage. They're designed to distract shots. But they are doing a slight amount of damage. And now we see T2 artillery online from, who's that? Looked like a Seraphim one. Yeah, there's a couple of Seraphim ones right here. They're trying to help out dealing with Navy. So I love all of the teamwork going down here from Team 1. Really trying to keep that position alive. But Navy has now been lost entirely for Team 1 at the current moment. In the middle, Sanekin dropping into the red, sub 2,000 hit points. He might just die here. And there he goes. His death kills off the remaining forces from, I think that was Stezclick. So it is a counter kill here for Team 2, dropping the game now to an even 5v5. Each team has lost one land player, and Team 1 has been locked out of Navy for the period, for now. I don't think it'll be for the foreseeable future, because it's really easy to just build more facilities on the western edge. But all this stuff most likely going to go to Edelbrock, which might expedite that air expansion quite heavily, getting dual bases online. Maybe it'll go to Atmosphere as well. Atmosphere charging forward as well. He has Nanogun and T2 on board. Not super tanky, but enough to bat away a couple of Ilshis. T2 artillery and some PD being deployed by Stesquick. He's actually retreated back to his main base, so he doesn't get sniped on the front lines. And we see ASF starting to stack for, who is that? That is Primal Rage in the middle of the map. ARAS done here for Mamim in the rear, 2nd Southern Air Guard. Getting an ion line. Love to see that from Skullraiser, so Team 2 can know exactly what's going on points of the map to see where, what is, and what is happening and the whatnot. Looks like more AA being deployed and a Omni sensor suite being deployed on the southern edge of the map, which means Team 1 will know pretty much everything that'll go down pretty much in, I think, Mamim. I think that's as far as it goes. Maybe it goes to where this Omni is right here, but it goes pretty far. Let's actually check real quick. Oh, it's just barely going to be enough, so they will maybe see that Omni, and that'll be about it. But at least Team 2 knows exactly what's going on the southern side, so no telemaser nonsense or cloaking nonsense gets them by surprise, at least tries not to. Lots of spirit spam, but it's getting just eviscerated by those frigates and destroyers from Team 2. No hopes of getting those online long term, but there's just a ton of them, and honestly, they're actually just being body blocked by the pathfinding. There's so many of them being deployed at once, it's just kind of hard to get them in a conga line. T2 Navy back online and going straight for T3. Blacknet, not backnet, but Blacknet just skipping the T2 phase. He's like, nope, I'm done. I'm UEF. I'm going Neptunes. Just being done with it. And that's probably a good call. ASF stacking here as well from the Southern Air player of Mamim. Again, should probably give them all over to one player, but now we see Atmosphere underneath some Voltu fire. There are some flak weapons nearby. One of them getting, actually all of them just got annihilated by some Nathas. Has some Nathas inbound from Primal, and this might be a second kill here for Team 2. ASF's inbound will kill off the remaining gunships. There's still some, again, artillery bombardments. There's a Natha or two in there. He's not out of the woods just yet, but at least the direct fire weapons on board are now out of the way from Team 2. Again, he's dodging and weaving, he's bobbing and just trying to get out of there. More Ilshis inbound, and honestly, that might give him enough veterancy to just get another chunk of hit points back, which might not be the best idea. And that transport gets annihilated. And there goes Atmosphere. He actually control K's underneath some ASFs to do as much damage as he could. Well, maybe he just died to the bombers or the Ilshis or both, but it did look like it was actually, he had a little bit more health than that. But regardless, Team 2 scores a kill. Definitely will count that as a kill. And that is another death for Team 1, dropping this game to a 5v4, now in favor of Team 2. See a couple of Solace is stacking up here for the eco player of Skullraiser. Interesting. Don't know what he's going to do with those. Maybe he's going to snipe somebody in the water for Team 1. Still, the Spirit Spam is online, and the T3 battleship being deployed. Not the Neptune that I thought it was going to be. We even see some assistance from Edelbrock to come and build that. I feel like the battlecruiser would be better. Again, longer range is nice, but the DPS is better for the Neptune. So, again, trade-offs to everything, but I think he wants to create an exclusion zone first and then just slowly try to push that out. Mass fabricating spam going down here for Team 1's Edelbrock to scale his eco. 23 minutes on the clock. Team 1 has lost 2 players. Team 2 has lost 1 player. That's not confusing at all. I mean, there's a scoreboard over here on the northeastern corner of the screen, but it's weird to say. Team 1 has lost Atmosphere and Senkin. Team 2 has lost Boss 1100. Mass incomes roughly the same. Team 1 and Team 2, they're eking out a little bit more lead in terms of Team 2, but again, nothing too crazy. We see some air fights going down on the northern side. Team 2 is in air dominance territory. They just have so many more ASFs remaining. But let me know down in the comments who you think is going to currently win this game, as we see an invasion on land by Team 2's Primal Rage. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel as we go look at the failed attempt here by Team 2's Primal Rage to take out, I'm assuming, the SMD at a minimum for Team 1. But, you know, it was a nice attempt, though. It caught them by surprise, and it will distract them for a little bit longer, force them to build some PD or whatnot. And there's a frontline facility all the way up here for Edelbrock that's going to get wiped out by those Ilshis. The middle of the map is just dead. You know, the only thing left is Stez, Click. There's 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15. I'd say 20 mexes in the middle of the map almost. Technically 19, but, you know, rounding up and whatnot. 20 mexes in the middle of the map up for grabs. Most likely all going to go to Team 2 because they're the only ones that have presence in that area. SACU is already online for Sock. He's getting his engineer sets, his Seraphim engineer ones. They do not get RASCOMs, but I wouldn't be surprised to see somebody give him some technology, either in the UEF or Aeon side of things. Artillery already have done for Sock, though. That's very interesting. Already prepping for the long game. Nano Repair Advance going down from Bamim. Some of the air grid is shielded, some of it is not. We do see mass T3 mass fab spam going down here for, looks like that is Skull Razor to get his eco up and running. That's more, I wouldn't say sustainable would be the way that I would phrase it, but you have, you know, facility generating power and consuming the said power and being reduced in power consumption and also producing mass, so it's a nice little trade-off there versus just the cheaper T2 mass fab, but they soak up a lot of power in terms of cumulatively. I think I said that word right. I can never say those words right. Strap bombers. Okay, hold on. That's a lot of strap bombers for Mamim. That is probably 2 squadrons. That is a little over 2 squadrons. Yep, there's 2 more down there. And those are going to be picked up by Team 1. A couple of them already shot down by some guided AA flak by Edelbrock. So Team 1 is definitely going to be aware of that. And the surprise might not be as much impactful as they really want it to be. I don't know what they could wipe somebody off the map. I don't know. I mean, they could. Oh, there is that Neptune there. Bombers are inbound. Looks like they're going after the artillery piece being built by Team 1. They're going to drop bomb. Yep, that's what they're going for. Sox next to some P-gens. Not a good place to stand. Those bombers do get wiped out before the shielding gets taken out. Oh, more bombers inbound. Never mind. And shielding is fine. That's a decent chunk of reclaim for Team 1 to scoop up. That, you know, that's a decent chunk. There's also another squadron up here to the north, reinforcing, most likely going after. They could go after this, but it's unshielded. And what do we have here? That's a YOLO being built by Edel. We'll keep a track of that. Another stack of bombers built by Primo. Looks like the bombardment in the air is the main strategy for Team 2. ASF count 100. That is air dominance for Team 2. Not even just air control. Just, yeah, it goes air control, air dominance, air supremacy, and we have air. That's it. Just, it's not even we control the air. It's no. It's ours. We own it. You're not getting it kind of thing. That's more the 200, 250 more ASF. Or just having the only ASFs at least 100 situation. Team 1 pushing back in Navy. Nice little Neptune, Summit, all of that. Atlantis being built by BlackNet as well. Don't like the position he's building it, considering he's building it right up next to the mountain. But, you know, cuts down on travel time a little bit. Again, like I said, don't like the placement of it, but, you know, it's better than not having anything at all. Another strap bomber rush inbound. Gonna drop probably on that artillery piece, which is now done. Sock is right next to those P-gens. Ooh, not a good place to stand there, my friend. Not great. Team 1 loses Sock. That's their eco player, and that's gonna suck. There's an SMD that's gonna go down. There's all of this stuff that he was building. Oh, that's not great. There it all goes. SACUs go up in flames. There's also some that die up here to the north. That's gotta hurt. Team 1, it's now a 3v5 game. Still in favor of Team 2. And Team 2, what are you cooking up in your kitchens? SACU spam, RASCOM spam, going for more of that. Love to see that. Tempest being built by Robo Danny. Nice. And getting galaxies, so love that 2-1 punch there. And more mass fab spam to the north with more strat spam. Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So there's that. There's 14 of them. They could probably try to snipe part of an air grid. I mean, yeah, they killed off another player for Team 1. But if they took out one or both of the air grids for Team 1, there's not much that Team 1 could do, at least with the ASF count. And I think Team 1 has kind of just written them off anyways, because they're not really building a lot of ASFs. A little bit of them for Team 1 Southern player of 8845. But, I mean, sending in a squadron of strat bombers for one engineer is not really worth it. So that YOLO, though, is in the yellow. I don't know. I mean, you could have built it a little bit closer to the edge of the map, but, you know, close enough is better than horseshoes and hand grenades and whatnot. It's, you know, it's almost there to the edge kind of thing. Ras being built by Robo. No, it's not being built by Boss because he's dead. But he's still in the game for Team 2, so he gets those messages regardless. And it looks like, no, excuse me, it was not a Quantum Gateway that was being built. I guess he switched it for a Salvation. So we have infinite damage, or near infinite damage, near infinite fire rate for Team 2. We'll see how that goes. My bet is, I don't know. Well, it depends how many SMDs Team 2 builds, because they only have the one here. Looks like they're getting another one. Okay, they might know about the YOLO for Team 1. Oh, they know about it. They know about it, and it's almost at 50% as well. So they're going to build SMDs up the wazoo. It's tons of strat bombers still stacking up. We have 31 of them. At this point, you might as well just try to go for the game ender. The longer this goes on where Team 2 is waiting, the more AA that's going to be built, the more shields that are going to be built, the more ASFs that are going to be stacked up waiting. Team 1 knows that, I mean, that's going to most likely be their the game ender, the thing that, you know, might win the game for them. So you might as well protect it with all you got and then some. Stacking more and more bombers for Team 2. There's now over 3 squadrons of them. I mean, Team 1's definitely going to be aware of any sort of air movement. Yeah, they can see a lot of ASFs are stacking up, moving in. They can sense the trepidation, and the bombers are inbound. If they don't go for the YOLO, it's not a great idea. Bombers have been sighted now for Team 1. They're building, like I said, AA immediately. They're going for the air grid, which will drain power for Team 1, at least for Edelbrock. But that would have been enough to kill off the YOLO before it was even constructed. And yeah, they kill off the air grid. That's something. But all that's going to do is force Team 1 to just stack more AA and more shields. And that would have been enough firepower to kill off the YOLO. And yeah, they do throw some bombs at it, but, you know, they drain almost all the shielding, to be fair. Look at that. Like, that one's more than half done. That one's more than half done. That one's at half. And that was, what, 4 or 5 of them? So I think that's a missed opportunity for Team 2. They could have wiped that off the map, finished the finished the Salvation, and then wipe something else off the map. But that might come back to bite them. We'll see if it does. Again, sometimes the shielding doesn't hold, or you don't build enough shielding and it gets killed, and sometimes it's enough and more strat bombers are being built. And again, that's more reclaim. Currently sitting on the map in total, 108,000. But in terms of on screen, let's see how far. 70 of that 1,000 is right on screen. Of course, some of that is the air grid. That's now gone. Again, the pigeons are the most important thing, because that's really what's going to keep that YOLO alive, is the shielding. And of course, the nuke is going to fire immediately, I guess. And look at that. They're reclaiming all those engineers just to finish it. 33 minutes. And it is done. Not even 33 minutes. And mass being sent to Skullraiser to finish the construction of that Salvation immediately. Obviously, this is one of 2 long-range artillery weapons you want to deal with shielding, the Mavor being the other one. Dunstall for SMD, says Primal. Yeah, they need the shields to stay online. Not just the shields, but obviously the power consumption and whatnot. And we see another, is that another Tempest? Yeah, another Tempest is on Team 2. I mean, they have one Tempest here. They have one Tempest there. They have one being built here to cut down on travel time. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Galaxy-class battleships. Team 1 has an Atlantis. And there's a Nuke somewhere. Who's that? Oh, yeah, that's the YOLO. YOLO is inbound. First one of the game, 33 and a half minutes. Going for the Navy. Definitely the smart play there. It's not going to relieve the pressure immediately, but reinforcing forces are going to be delayed significantly because of that. So that is an idea there. Is that a missile? No, it's artillery. Okay. Lots of spam. Team 1 Thams and Ilshi's inbound from Team 2 on the northern side. Not a lot of land defenses here, which not great, but we'll see if Team 1 notices that. And YOLO should get shot down. It's the first one of the... Oh?
Strategic launch detected.
Oh, it went further east. I thought that was the first one. Never mind. SMD lands, and it looks like it went after some players in the water. That's a nice snipe attempt. I would not have thought to go for that as the first nuke. And it looks like Team 2's players are like, yeah, we're just going to move just in case. And that's great because Skull Razor would have died, and most likely Primal Rage would have been killed off. That would have been a nice double kill. Second nuke is outbound, though. Oh, and they did waste one of the SMDs for Team 2, so that is another thing. Not waste, but force them to use, I guess would be the better term. And it's going to be just a kill box scenario here for both teams, honestly. Team 2 has a lot of targets in a small box, and Team 1 has a lot of targets in a bigger box, but not that much bigger. Another nuke is outbound. T4 artillery is done, and that land invasion is inbound to the north. Looks like T2 PD has been deployed. That will be enough to stop this. That's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. It is going to be the YOLO for Team 1 versus the Salvation on Team 2 side. And if we didn't even see that. Salvation actually targeting some of the Pigeons and the mass fabs to the north. And there is that Salvation in all of its glory. They're getting some more shielding. Another nuke is outbound. And if it was, I wish it was easier to actually see through the shielding for Aeons. They had to be annoying. You have the Seraphim, which are pretty much they're all see-through to some degree, but okay. Now I just want a nice little shot of this thing firing. You can actually see the YOLO missile in the distance there. A little black spot. Just sailing overhead. The nice little black comet, I guess would be a better way to put it. And the mass fabs to the north have been eliminated. Shields are popping on and off. I am going to split things just to keep track of the YOLO itself, because the main focus, of course, is going to be... Oh, the shield... Oh, back online. I was going to say the shielding falls. The YOLO does get taken out. And it looks like ping's going down. I don't know what the warnings are for, but whatever. In the naval side of things, we have Galaxies that just ran up and said hi. Not the best idea. I mean, there's Neptunes here. That's not a great idea. Keep the Neptunes at bay. You have the Tempest. Are you producing units? Yes, you are. You're producing engineers. Looks like for reclaim purposes, nice to see that, but probably better off to build more units. 2 more Tempests are inbound. Another YOLO has already been issued and given its orders to just fire immediately. And again, it is the infinite damage versus the infinite fire rate. And lots of SMDs being built and loaded very, very quickly here. More being built by Robo. More being loaded by Mamim. But we have lots of focus on that. And the shielding there's some assisting. There's some rebuilding. I love the fact that Edelbrock not only is building more, but he's also assisting somewhere he can. He's also upgrading some T2 to T3 just to, again, give that initial boost. Because these can upgrade and, of course, recharge and whatnot. And it makes things a little bit more protective if you can essentially get a T2 shield upgraded to T3 once it loses its capacity, because it refills it once it's upgraded. That's why Cybrans, if they're in the process of upgrading, that shield can last for a while, because T2 goes down, upgrades to T3, T3 goes down, or ED3 goes down, goes to 4, goes down, goes to 5. Like, you can get a lot of damage protected from that. One Tempest is down, 2 more remain. And that kill box slowly actually favoring Team 1. There's also a Fat Boy up here, so that's a thing to watch out for Team 2. YOLO can want to position it so the chat isn't just over top the YOLO, but I want to zoom in enough to look at it. And it's actually, okay, there we go, that's a lot better. YOLO is outbound. No other YOLO missile has been able to land. There's been enough SMDs. Another YOLO outbound. Obviously, that one hasn't even landed yet. There's SMDs. That one's not loaded. That one's not loaded. One fires. Oh, that one's going to land. There is so many SMDs here. Even the column of Mamim is here. He might be out of range. Ooh, yeah, I think he might be out of range. Oh, kaboom. Oh, look at all that stuff going down. Ooh, that's going to hurt. All those mass fabs chaining there. Cascading. He's fine. 37,000 hit points on him. He's going to be fine for a little bit. Another nuke has been fired. 2 there, 2 there, 0 there, 0 there. So it's going to be at least 3 YOLO missiles they can deter. Another YOLO lands right here. Oh, I guess they wanted to make sure the thing was dead. Okay, well, I mean, it's dead. All the reclaim is gone. Or most of it. Well, pretty much all of it's gone. Let's see. In the west, it looks like the naval fight not going super well. And I think at this point I can not split things because the shielding, unless something crazy happens, isn't going down for at least a little bit. I'll lock that just so I don't accidentally click it. There's 3 Tempests now. Again, it's just not going super well. They're producing units very quickly here. Lots of SACUs waiting to be given orders. They could be assisting that, but it might be mass or power related that he's just kind of holding off. We also see some engineers running around for 80, 845, just more reclaim related, whatnot. Regular nuke outbound from Primal Rage doesn't go for his own YOLO. I mean, he could, but I guess he's thinking about it's just quote unquote cheaper. Hold on. Oh no, there's not an SMD loaded. Oh no, that's not good for Team 1. Uh-oh. Oh, maybe. That's not great. Ooh, that's going to hurt. A regular nuke kills off a YOLO. Where's the there's some poetry or some irony there. Strat Bombers inbound in the south for Team 1's 8845. Here comes the nuke. The SMD's not loaded. Oh, that is such. Oh, that's some irony there. Kaboom! Great snipe there by Team 2's Primal Rage. And Team 1's Mamim out of shield coverage almost dies to passing bombers. And now we see they're going after Skull Razor's comm. He has the regular shield upgrade, no heavy shield, and he dies because of that. P-Gen goes off and whatnot. That doesn't help things. Maybe he should have invested in the heavy shield upgrade. So Team 1 loses the YOLO to a counter nuke, but Team 2 loses the salvation due to some bombers and the death of, who's that? Was Skull Razor. Look at all the stuff that's gone. Oof, and Robo Danny actually killed up by Skull Razor. Looks like he was... Oh, he was standing next to the P-Gens. Oh, no! So the death of Skull Razor triggered the death of Robo, which means not only is the Eco player dead, but the Naval player is dead for Team 2, and the player of Mamim is dead. Granted, he didn't have much at this point anyways, but triple kill in the south for Team 1. Drops this game to a 3v2. First time there. No, they've been in the lead in the beginning, but it's a once again in the lead here for Team 1. I want to see how much mass that killed. That only killed 82,000 mass? Really? With a YOLO. Only 82,000 mass? It doesn't... For some reason that doesn't seem right, but maybe it is. I just don't think it is. Primal Rage trying to be targeted by some bombers, but the height difference in terms of where the comm is actually standing and the top of the water is pretty vast, so the AoE is not going to be wide enough to trigger that. The game flip-flopped on its head. We had Team 2 about to just take the lead with the whole game ender nonsense with the YOLO being killed off by the nuke, but the Strat Bombers came in. Team 1's 80 was like, well, they did it, and it almost, I mean, it did pretty well against the air grid here. I might as well just do it. And he did, and he just went full send it on that that salvation. Technically, he went for Skull Razor, but, you know, tomato potato is pretty much the same thing. A lot of conversation in chat. Haven't really been keeping up with it. Looks like it's just between Robo and Primal Rage now. Looks like some T2 artillery over here spamming. Nice strategy here. Just a little bit of stuff. Nothing too crazy. SACU goes down. Don't know whose those were, but somebody died. Oh, yeah, that's... Look like they're Seraphim. So... And there goes... Oh, Team 1's... Oh, that was a YOLO. Oh, never mind. No, YOLO wasn't. I see what happened. So, Team 2's Primal Rage teleported some SACUs in, killed off the SMD, and then the nuke came in and killed everything else off. So that's actually a nice grab by Team 2's Primal Rage. It's still a 3v2, but now another air grid is down for Team 1. I was like, wait, that's not... I was like, he's an Aeon. That's not what the explosion looks like. That doesn't make sense. But yeah, he fired the nuke. I forgot he did that. And while I was actually paying attention almost to what was going on, the nuke landed. So again, apologies. Kaboom. That goes down. And the naval game is essentially just de facto won by Team 1 at this point. Team 1 also going for a Mavor because why not? Why not go for it? They have all the mass they could ever want right here. We have some engineers running around scooping up mass down here for Primal Rage. His nuke is killed off. 279,000 mass. Paid for itself immensely. And looks like, yeah, Team 2 has spotted it. And again, will that happen? I don't know. 44 minutes on the clock. It seems possible. Okay. SMD is inbound. Nuke is inbound. Yeah, that's not great for Team 1. So second, well, technically third, but not really third, but technically yes, second. Game ender has been started. And both for Team 1 again. The salvation technically isn't, but it kind of is. Again, it's kind of coupled with a Paragon, so pretty much like an adjacent game ender. And that nuke's going to land. It's going to kill a lot of SACUs. Ooh, that's going to be 279. Rises to a lot. Kaboom! And the Mavor is denied. It was 279. It is now 623,000 mass. Over 200, almost 50,000 mass killed with that one nuke. Ooh, that's got to hurt. And that is mass efficiency, not only in the, you know, it's mass efficient in terms of building the nuke and firing it. It's mass efficient being like it's huge efficiency. There's a double meaning there. Lots of what the nonsense is this, Edelbrock? 258 Zooey. 289 Zooey. 289 Zooey still. Lots of Zooey. He's just going to spam, send it on the other side of the map. Strat Bombers moving in. ASF have spotted them, though. Maybe one or two of them will reach the targets. I highly doubt it. Oh, yeah, there's enough time. They can shoot all those down. That's not going to be a problem. One maybe would have made it, maybe, but nope. Land invasion spam in the north here by Team 2's remaining two players. But we have 3 Atlantis inbound, tons of Neptunes. Love the laser weapons. The nuke has to be used to defend against Navy. Team 2 does not have a counter for it. They have a T3 Seraphim headquarters, but it's not going to be enough. 4 bombers are inbound. The AA on board the Atlantis should be enough, at least for the first couple of waves. Get the Neptunes in there and deal the blow to the land. And it is turned the game upside down. There's a chicken inbound. Nope, the chicken is dead. Never mind. Team 1 had a chicken. It died to the Ion Storm. Never mind. Awasa Bomber is online now for Edelbrock, so that'll be fun to watch. But like I said, the Atlantis is inbound, and the Neptunes are inbound. The nuke has been fired and has been deployed. Those Neptunes do not have a lot of time to get out of range, and most of them will die. The the Atlantis are kind of just stuck there. Oh, and they're going into the... Kaboom! 2 of the Atlantis and 3 of the Neptunes are down. I don't know if that'll be enough, but it's a huge improvement to what Team 2's Primal Rage had to deal with a moment ago. And it is just throw whatever anybody has wherever at their opponent. Tons of Zooey stacking up down here. No idea what they're going to do down there, but we'll see. This game is really flip-flop. It went from a, I wouldn't say more civilized game of dual gap, but more typical game to a just throw spaghetti at the wall. Just chuck it. See what happens. Because that's all we got left. We have 2 summons plus 5 at Neptunes plus an Atlantis. They're going to try to take out the Neptunes first, of course. They're targeting... What are they targeting? They're trying to take out the SMDs? It looks like they're targeting the emitters. Yeah, they're targeting all the emitters. And that might be enough. We see... Oh, he's next to some pigeons, but he gets hit by some summits anyways. Nice grab there by Blacknet. It's now a 3v1 game. Everything for Stez Click will die. The chicken will die. And it's just going to be Team 2's Primal Rich, who he control Ks anyways. Seeing the game is over. And that is the game here, folks. 48 minutes on. Oh, and there's a desync because why not? But the game was literally already over at that point. Team 1 wins the game. It came down to just having stuff left at that point. Was there anything big planned? No. I think at that point they're kind of just whatever we have. 2 bombers were being stacked up. So even if the Navy wasn't going to be enough, it might have been enough for those 2 bombers to come in and maybe kill one of them off. But the double and then triple kill pretty much happening on the southern side for Team 2 was brutal. You got, of course, the death of Skullraiser, blew up the P-Gens and the Mass Fabs, which blew up the comm of Robo-Danny, which killed off the Navy, which gave Team 1 the immediate win in Navy. And then the tertiary kill of Mamim. Granted, he didn't really have much at that point because the YOLO landed there anyways, but he was wiped out. So Team 2 lost 3 players, one after the other. So for that reason alone, I got to give MVP to Team 1's 8845. He took the bomber idea. I mean, granted, the bomber idea exists, but players are reminded of stuff as the game progresses and whatnot. By Team 2's attempt in the north and went, I can do that, and just full sent it. And it is a PSA to everybody who does play dual gap that putting your comms next to P-Gens or anything that is explosive, bad idea. And also, of course, hiding your comms as much as possible, because if you die, all your stuff dies. And maybe if your teammate is standing next to your stuff that is volatile, that stuff also blows up and kills him. So, kind of, yeah. There's that. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you haven't done so already, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. And I will see all of you in the next one.